So BTC's just rejected off that 57K we gave you guys yesterday. That was a massive rejection area we were watching. But now something else is cropping up here. The death cross, okay? Is this a thing to worry about? Is this going to be a terrible situation here? So today I'm going to take you through the death cross. I'm going to show you the previous death crosses that we've had, and we're going to look at the impact on the market. Then there's a current pullback happening right now. I think we're going to get some entries in the next 24 hours on some of these altcoins. There's going to be some bangers here for you guys. Stick around. We've got a lot to talk about here. Let's get right into this. And you're gonna like and subscribe. If you like the content, hit the like, smash the likes, smash the subscribe, smash the bell. You know the drill. I see Ferdy's here in the house. He's saying good evening. And Mr. 100 says, white cap, we go to 60K. Mr. 100, I've got a tweet up about Mr. 100. Hopefully it's not you. Or maybe it is you. We're going to talk about that now. But Banter Bubbles, look at the situation here. A little bit of red now. Okay, I think it was fair. It was to be expected. We had 3 big resistance zones for BTC that we were watching. 57K was the first one. My massive one that I was loving is 62. Maybe we're still going to see that. But for now, we've got that 57K rejection, and they've given us something to work with. Okay, look at the outperformer here on the right-hand side. 𝗏, meme coin dominating again. 𝗏 is really looking super bullish here on the latest Sol strength. So we're going to dive into some Sol strength as well today. You're not going to believe what is going on here with Sol versus ETH. At the moment. So let's get into BTC and let's just deal with what these guys are giving us right now. So 57K, this was our zone yesterday. This was the big one that we were watching. And, typical little dance around this area, typical little reaction here. Often you get these little fake outs into these zones. Okay, and 57K now, that is our marker. This is our reaction zone. This is our big resistance we're going to be watching today. So anything up to 57,700. Okay, 57,700, that's the big one. Now, funny thing happening here at the moment, we can see BTC is pulling back. It's touching the 236 fib. Now we can see corresponding altcoins. Some of them are hitting 382s already. Some of them have lost 382 fibs. So there's definitely some kind of correlation going on here with some of these altcoins at the moment. But I suspect we're going to get some decent sized entries here imminently in the next, say, 24 hours. So what am I watching now for BTC? Potential reaction here, 55,690. We're watching this guy right here. Then a little bit lower down, bullish zone for me, 382 fib. That could potentially take some of these alts to corresponding 618s, for example. This is 54,400. Nice little area here. And then I've got this sneaky little zone here where we could look for a little wick, 53,300. So we could easily see something along these lines, a little wick into that area for a bit of a bullish move here for BTC. So these are big levels now. You want to be watching to the downside, 54,400, 53,300. Nice little area. And then we've got Old Faithful over here, the 52,300, 618 comes to save the day when we are really feeling sick and disgusting and everything is falling over and we've lost our bull vibes. Often we've got to jump onto that 618. So 618, 52, 300. These are your downside levels you are watching right now. Now, we've seen the S&P. It's opened up green. So what if the market now miraculously reverses and starts ripping? Well, don't forget, these are our big zones. 59,500, 62K. These are massive, massive resistance areas for us. So we're going to be watching those for any types of reactions there, and then corresponding altcoins as well. You're going to be looking to take profits at those type of areas as well. Okay, so that's the deal there. I don't have any trades running right now on Prime XBT. I've got a couple of altcoin trades running. Some are long, some are shorts at the moment. We're going to deal with them now, and I'm going to show you why I entered into the shorts. I'm going to show you how I entered into the shorts. So maybe you can learn something from this today and something to take away with you guys. So stick around. That stuff is on its way. Let's take a look at just a couple of things floating around here in the market. Now, this is very interesting. Daily crypto exchange volume reaches its highest point since May 2024. Okay, that's a nice little start. Okay, a little boost to the market. Obviously, this massive sell-off caused chaos everywhere, but maybe it just piqued a little bit of interest. People opening up their exchange accounts, maybe having a go, maybe having a bit of a trade, and trying to get involved in the latest recovery play. So that's a good start. I tweeted that earlier. Follow me on Twitter. I'm dropping bangs or banging alpha here for you guys. I'm not dropping bangs. I think bangs is a French or something, but I'm dropping tons of things. And don't forget, the latest 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 video is out. That is hilarious shit as well. Talking about McDonald's after that dump. So go take a look at my Twitter profile there at the Lord of Entry. Now, fear and greed index slightly moved off from where we said where we were yesterday. We were at 17, and that was extreme fear. I mean, there was proper fear in the market here, and now we are at the fear level. Now, I can tell you what's going to happen here. If we start losing that 618, for example, this fear and greed index is going to drop right back down, and we're probably going to be back in the teens again. So let's just keep our eyes on this thing. But the current level, where we're 29, nice little area to watch, nice little start, a little sniff around these types of zones, always a good little area. And then Uncle Donald now trying to outdo Kamala Harris at the moment. And he's saying, oh, this is Donald Trump Jr., but he's saying we're about to shake up the crypto world with something huge. So let's see. What is it? Going to be some other shit coin, some kind of meme coin? Oh, who knows? But these guys, they're chasing votes at the moment. And who knows what we're going to get here, Raymond? And we're going to see. We're going to see what they're going to come up with. But if it's a meme coin, I think we're going to have to buy that thing. And right, here's invest answers. Now, Mr. 100, was that you in the chats? That would be incredible. But here's Mr. 100. Remember, I showed you this guy yesterday. He was buying so much BTC. Now, this guy has just dumped 6,000 BTC in a single day. Now, what is going on here? He was in, and he maybe bought the pump. Now he's dumped it all. And, interesting things happening here. I wonder why this man is selling 6,000 BTC. Maybe Michael Saylor is grabbing them from him. So this was an interesting development here in the market now. 𝗦𝗡𝗜𝗣𝗘 just reminding us the Japanese now have paused their rate hikes. Remember this whole drama. Well, there was a lot of drama, but one of the major aspects of this current drama was the Japanese raising their interest rates by 0.25 basis points, okay? And that caused an absolute shitstorm in the market that everything started falling over. Then they had an emergency meeting, and looks like Yellen as well is getting involved, okay, with the Japanese, the Dems and everything, trying to do something here to just prop up the markets. And all of a sudden, they've stopped their rate situation. So let's just take a look how the Japanese enjoyed that. The Nikkei, look at this beautiful little recovery bounce there. And after basically destroying and ending hedge funds, literally ending hedge funds, they destroyed careers, okay, in the last couple of days. Now this thing goes pop back up. So all these hedge funds and all the guys that were under leverage and all these things, they've ended businesses, all these types of things. And now, fuck me, this thing is back up. Those guys, their business are done. And, it's just a sad state of affairs. But anyway, 18% recovery here on the Nikkei. And look, things are looking good now. So if you're interested in the Nikkei, well, your big support you're going to be watching is this 34,000 level. You can see now we've broken back into a major area. So, I would expect this thing to start churning back up now that everything has calmed down. Okay, now they have a plan, they've backtracked and everything, and now I'm expecting this thing to start churning higher and, business as usual. Now, the S&P, also, nice push up today. This is S&P on the daily that I'm watching, and we have broken back again above our big support zone, the 5,220 level. So that is your big one you're going to be watching now. We can see a little bit of a rejection here on the S&P, but 5,220, that is what you're watching as support. That was the level we marked yesterday for you guys. So nice little takeoff from there, but I would just keep my eyes on that for now. So with the Japanese thing stable and things like that, we can maybe breathe a little bit, but there is one little curveball still coming. Okay, we're going to talk about this curveball shortly, but now, I mean, these guys are focusing on things like this. This is ALO. He says, okay, so the BOJ has pivoted. Wow, he says. Okay, Powell about to deliver a first cut. Cool. US recession fears have calmed. Cool. Okay, we get it. He's saying, what about a possible V reversal? Then we got another guy, Milky Bull, also a big account on Twitter. He's talking about a V-shaped recovery similar to what we did in 2020. Now, have they forgotten about the possible curveball? There's possibly rockets and shit going to get fired up and fired around in the world. Okay, here's our potential curveball. And this is why we could potentially not get this little V-shaped recovery. This is why we could potentially even see a dip on BTC down to 44K, down to 37K, if things start getting very ugly at the moment. So let's not forget, some of that macro stuff is now sorted out, but there's an elephant in the room here. And it's basically guys with rockets and all these types of things. And we know the US is getting involved. Things are hotting up a little bit here, and we got to keep our eye on this current situation. So, the last time we had a little bit of bombing in Israel and things like that, I think BTC did about 10% on the day. Okay, let's look out for that move. And a 10% from this current move, I think is going to take us to what, Ray? About 51K at least. Okay, now obviously now the market is anticipating something, but I think last time there were rockets fired, they were anticipating it as well. And they still dumped the market about 10%. So let's not forget about the curveball while we are continuing on our merry way. And then one more note here. before we jump into more of the alpha stuff. But this guy, 𝗘𝗫𝗣𝗑𝗥, okay, he's watching on-chain data. Okay, he says bullish, hash rate recovery good, minor capitulation is nearly over. Okay, lovely. Whale accumulation is looking good. He's saying retail absence here. Retail investors are mostly absent, though, similar to mid 2020. Okay, then he's saying the reduced old whale activity. Old whales 3 years plus sold their holdings to new whales between March and June. So there's no significant selling pressure from old whales at this time. Now, what is his bearish situation here? He's saying macro risk could obviously lead to forced sell-offs. There were large crypto deposits by jump trading recently, which we know about, and Binance hit year-to-date high in daily deposits. And then bearish indicators, some on-chain indicators turn bearish, but they are borderline at the moment. If the bearish trend persists for over 2 weeks, okay, then he's saying the market recovery could be a little bit challenging. So we're going to take a look at this death cross, okay? We're going to take a look at what happened previously on these death crosses as well. And let's just update our current liquidations now before we get into this, and just see how this is going to tie up with our chart. So you can see I've got a beautiful cluster here on the 1 day, anything down to 53,500. So I would say that's the big marker we're going to watch today. We're going to see where we can tie this in with some of our charts. And then the upside, I've got a 60K, okay? So 60K and 53.5. Let's confirm where that is on our charts. So we've got 53.5 lower down. Okay, isn't that beautiful? Look how this thing is tying into this sneaky little level over here, the 53,300. So if they send us there, bang, those liquidations are taken care of. And if they send us up to 60K, well, that would be perfect for us. That would be a little fake out into that trend there, and then potentially a little bit of a move lower down. Okay, so we've got a little bit of confluence there. We've got a little bit of tie-in, and that is starting to make sense to us. BTC on the daily, no changes from yesterday. Okay, everything still stands in what we discussed yesterday. Upside, 57K, 59,550, and then the big one for me, 62K. Okay, so watching those levels higher up, and then downside, slight little change here, but these levels are pretty much identical here. You're looking at just under 53K on the daily. So these are the big guys that we're going to pay attention to. Now, let's talk about death crosses. So for those of you that don't know what a death cross is, well, it's a hyped up retail situation, basically, where, you know, the guys look at it and they say, oh, well, the 50-day moving average is crossing over the 200-day moving average. Okay. Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
I mean, usually it bounces back to that zone and then it rejects. It's too late.
Hey,
now.
You're killing my story here, bro. You're killing my story. So the death cross, what is the death cross? 50-day moving average starts dipping over through the 200-day moving average. Okay, that is the opposite of a golden cross, okay, where you see the 50-day MA pushing above the 200-day MA. So the golden cross signifies a bullish move potentially coming, you know, in the future, and the 50-day MA crossing over the 200 is technically supposed to say it's a bearish move coming in the future. So now, let's take a look at what has happened the last few times we've had a death cross, and let's just see what the market has given us. And let's see if there's anything that we can read into this, you know, using the past information that they've given us. So just a little note, the last time we had it, well, let's go to the first time, the first relevant time here, 15th of June. Okay, we had a death cross on the 15th of June. What happened here? This is BTC on the 3-day. We had a pump into the death cross. So everybody knew the death cross was coming. We had a pump into the death cross, and then we had a rejection. Okay, interesting move there. 30% decline here for BTC. So we pumped into the death cross, then we had a rejection, 30% move down. What happened next? We had 39 days of the death cross. Okay, we had 39 days under these highs, okay, until we broke the death cross pump. Okay, 39 days. So we pumped into the death cross, we fell over, we had 39 days till we broke that high again. Okay, so that is time number one. Let's take a look at the next one. What we had here, this was in the death cross came in 10th of January, 2022. And what happened? We could see the death cross was coming. We had the market moving down. We had a small little pump into the death cross. Okay, little pump, but we had a green, you know, we had a green 3-day candle. That is notable. But then we had a 26% dump to the downside afterwards. Okay, how long did it take to reclaim that high? It took 75 days, okay, to get back up to that region over there. So it took 75 days for us to get into that area, to get a candle close above that level. Okay, so we tested this a couple of times here, tested, rejected, 75 days to get over that level. Okay, so that's not looking good. Okay, so the first two times that I've shown you, not looking great at the moment. Now, let's go back to the most recent death cross that we had. And this was a very short-lived one. And what are we looking at here? So we had a little pump into the death cross. Okay, so we had we had a little bit of a pump into the death cross, but after that happened, things actually started churning a little bit higher, and we had a 3.3% move up on BTC over a couple of days. Okay, so that, we've had 3 death crosses here as an example. We've had 2 that are devastating. We have 2 that are actually really going to hurt our feelings if we have to be trading in those type of conditions. And then we had one sort of outlier here that actually went up after that. Okay, so let's just look at what we're looking at here now. And if we take this into account, so let's assume, with this little pump we've just had, we've had the market bleeding down into the death cross. Now let's assume we've had this little pump, okay, and that was it. Okay, if that was it, we could be spending, the next, say, let's take an average here, 25, 27 days. That would take us, all the way to this sort of region here. We could be spending a lot of time under this region before we start popping higher. So I just wanted to highlight this, this situation. We've had one situation where it actually went up 3% in a couple of days, and now we got 2 where they actually centered lower. So there's a little bit of information here, and if we just chart this, with a simple little trend line that I've got in play here, a little retest here at these little levels would also make sense. So we might get a little bit of chop in the zone. And remember, yesterday I showed you a nice little tweet from Poseidon where he told us we had 60 days of chop coming after that initial dump, and maybe this could tie into a situation like that. So let's just look, these lows also tying in very nicely to this little cluster over here, and that makes sense around about 51k as a potential retest. Okay, so there you go. There's the information on the death cross. Obviously now we have a lot of things are different at the moment. We've got a better macro situation, or an improving macro situation that we all are aware of. We spoke about that in depth yesterday, so that could definitely help the markets, but we just got to make sure this little curveball, okay, doesn't come and ruin the party for us, okay, because that is really going to be annoying if this curveball comes and smashes us. So let's keep our eyes on the war situation. We know the macro situation is sorting itself out, so things are definitely looking slightly more positive from that front. Okay, so that is that. And the death cross has been dealt with, and we've dealt with that decisively. And you can see this death cross, Ray. And Ray made an interesting point, but on a lot of these altcoins as well, whenever you get that death cross, a lot of the time, these altcoins actually pump into the death cross. So that is something nice that you can look into in the future. When you do get these situations, they dump into the golden cross and they pump into the death cross. So you can back test that stuff, but we've seen that happen multiple times there. And Ray, what's going on there, bro? Where's the bullish goggles today? What's going on?
The goggles are here. We're just wearing glasses. Do we need the goggles today? I thought we went short.
We need to focus. We got entries coming. And let's see who's in the chat here. What is going on? I got Mickey here saying, damn, that is not dumped. That thing is still in a channel. Okay, he likes that channel. And Joe Landa says, stop talking like run, man. Come on. What's going on here? Shay says the bearish team is winning at the moment. And Mickey says, I always trade time, not price action. Let it simmer a little bit. And Goose Guard says, in Dylan we trust. Guys, well, we got some banging entries coming here for you guys. Let's see if these are going to play out for us. Let's see if we're going to get what we want on these things. And I mean, just reminding us, higher low on the horizon. I actually agree. Okay, I agree with you. Higher low on the horizon. And this could be quite a bullish little setup for us. And challenge is never going to see 52. Never going to see 52. Okay, well, it remains to be seen. 𝗛𝗦𝗣𝗘𝗥 43, Dub is 39. I mean, these guys are sending us deep and dark. Let's see what your current sentiment is here in the chat. So I'm running this poll, guys. So take a look. We've got 686 votes. Just bang out some more votes for me. And death cross on BTC, not serious, 41%. 59% think this is terrible. So I think if everyone thinks it's that bearish, I'm going to have to call and say it's not that bearish. I'm going to have to say, based on the voting here, if we fade every time when there's over sentiment on a certain way, I think the best thing to do here is to typically fade it. And yeah, let's say I'm leaning bullish here. I'm leaning higher low, and I don't think we're going to go much lower than what we're going, subject to this guy. Okay, let's keep our eyes on that. Okay, so now let's get into some of these altcoins. Let's see where we are. And still a concern for me here is Richard says wick to 10k. Bro, I'm in. I got my buy order set there. $10,001. I got a limit order set. Massive limit order. $10,001.
Give me 11. Give me 13.
$10,001. That is the limit order. Okay, so market cap BTC on the weekly for dominance is what we're watching. And right now you can see still putting pressure in the zone. So we can't get too bearish on altcoins yet. because we are sitting at a resistance band, okay? Resistance tells us that we could potentially get a rejection, weekly resistance, monthly resistance, generally quite strong, and often you get a couple of taps on these things. So we can't get too bearish on these altcoins. So we're looking for a little rejection here just to help these alts a little bit with regards to dominance. And if dominance does blow, well, then, things are going to get spicy, especially if BTC is now falling over. So if dominance blows this level, BTC starts falling over, starts pushing that 50K level, the 51 level, these alts are going to sweat. Okay, these alts are going to be giving us double bottoms and things like that we're going to be looking at. So we're going to deal with a ton of these altcoins now. And let's just tackle the first big dog. And we're soon going to be pushing ETH out of the way. And we're going to become soul bros, I think, after the disappointing ETH trade lately. And what are we looking at here? So this is ETH on the daily. And I gave you guys a support yesterday. Soul bro, ETH bro. Soul bro, ETH bro. What are we doing? What are we doing here?
I mean, unfortunately, it's Soul. And unfortunately, it's memes as well.
That's driving Sol. Okay, it's the meme coins that are driving Solana. Okay, we know that. Yeah, that is why Sol is looking so good at the moment. But here is ETH on the daily. And I was saying to the Sniper Club guys earlier today on a Zoom, there were a couple of questions about ETH, is it over and things like that. And I said, look, we've got retail interest at very low levels at the moment. And we know what happens. Okay, when the market turns bullish again, retail interest starts again. What are these guys going to do? They're going to start buying ETH. Okay, and especially with these guys with all the money, with the access to the ETFs and things like that, they're going to go to their brokers and they're going to say, okay, what are we getting? I want exposure to crypto. Give me some high risk exposure and give me some Bitcoin exposure. These guys, they're going to buy ETH. Okay, that's going to be the high risk play. They're going to buy Bitcoin. And I have no doubt ETH will do its thing. But we're going to talk about ETH versus Sol in a couple of minutes here. And I'm going to show you a couple of interesting things. But if you're holding ETH bags, you know what? Don't be not bullish on ETH. I suspect Sol could be going to be overperforming or outperforming ETH, but ETH isn't going to be the end of the world. They will buy this thing, okay, with the ETFs, and they will pump this thing with the market. So no stress about that. And then ETH on the daily, we've hit our first zone of interest. We've hit our support band. So 2,400, this was the area we marked yesterday. We are now sitting in this region. So this is our first sort of area of interest. Remember, the plan here was potential to come and take out this wick. We could potentially see that all the way. Okay, don't forget, we've got a major macro trend line over here for ETH that we still need to deal with. Sometimes it takes a lot of time to get to that trend line. If BTC is going to sit under this death cross for 30 days, 60 days, and things like this, we're most likely going to get this wick retested. We're most likely going to get this wick closed out, and we're going to be looking for these double bottom plays here on ETH potentially. So big level for me, 2,100, no changes here for ETH at the moment. Can I help you, sir?
We need to double top the likes, not double top
guys,
the bottom of the likes.
We want to double bottom the likes. Okay, we don't want to double top the likes. We want to send the likes up. Okay, we're going to double bottom those likes. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and don't forget. Well, actually, I haven't even told you. I'm doing a giveaway today. Okay, a Bitfunded deal for you guys that is coming for you guys as well, and that is going to be for trading with other people's money. Okay, so ETH, you got your levels here. Still expecting some kind of bleed out here on ETH. The low for me, 2,100. We're going to play with that area. Now, just a reminder, guys, Bitfunded, I gave you guys a nice little deal yesterday. Hopefully some of you guys took advantage of that. And now there is a new deal for you guys today that we have organized. And all of the hosts, they were kind enough to give us a little something for you guys. So I've got 20 deals for you guys on Bitfunded. What you need to do, okay, sign up to Bitfunded. There's a link in the description. Register the demo, not the demo account, register the $49 account. Okay, if you pass stage 1 and stage 2, they are going to give you a free second account as well for that $49. So what is Bitfunded? If you don't know what it is, you basically send these guys $49, $99. They give you a demo account. You trade with a demo account. You show that you can make 8% on stage 1. Then you make 5% on stage 2. If you can pass that, they give you real money that you can trade with. And then you can send that and you can make 80 to 90% of the profits that you are making using their money. Okay, so it's as simple as sign up here, pay the deposit, get the demo account, make 8%, make 5%, then they give you their money that you can trade with. Now, if you can pass stage 1 and stage 2, they're going to give you a second account, okay, a complimentary account there for you guys. It's limited to the first 20. Okay, so we're going to sort that out for you guys just take a look at the link here in the description. There it is under the show. And you can see I've got my whole shopping list here at the moment. And there it is there, fifth from the bottom. Sign up to Bitfunded, then go to my link, say Bitfunded Challenge Dylan. Sign up to that thing, do the $49, the $99, and then we're going to sort you guys out. First 20, we're going to sort you guys out with that complimentary $49 account as well. Okay, so just pass, and then we'll get you guys going there. Right. Let's talk about Sol versus ETH. Number one, this is why I think Sol is now expected to outperform ETH, whether the market is going up, whether the market is going down. This chart is telling me that Sol versus ETH is showing a ton of strength at the moment, and we are expecting this to now outperform going forward. Okay, so you can see what's going on. This is Sol versus ETH on the weekly, and now we've broken all-time highs, and we're breaking major resistance here. So what does this look like to me? It looks like nice little support in that region, and then this thing for me is going to start churning higher now. Over the next few months, over the next few weeks, we'll monitor this chart, but this is typically, once you break a massive level like this, you get some kind of retest, and then this thing starts firing. So it looks like Sol is now primed to outperform ETH over the coming months. Let's see how that is going to play out. And then taking a look at Sol versus BTC, you can see this has been a top performer here, and still looking very good. Sol versus BTC sitting at a nice horizontal band here for us at the moment, and also priming itself for some kind of break. We're expecting, or we're looking for some kind of move here when the time is right. The next altcoin rip, I think we're going to see Sol really start outperforming ETH and really start outperforming BTC. RMS Fabrication says rune chart, please. I've got that for you guys. I'm in a rune short. I'm going to show you how I took that, and then I'm going to show you where my next long entry is coming for rune. So we're going to do that now. So just stick around. It is coming. It's in my hit list. Okay, what do I have next for you guys? I've got the Sol chart at the moment, and this is what we're looking at. So I gave you guys this yesterday, and we were looking at some hot zones for Solana. And, my basic comments here were hot zone number one was the 200-day MA. Hot zone number two was the 50-day MA and the 100-day MA. So this is typically a rejection area here for us for Solana. So we're watching this one closely, and you can see we've started the rejection so far. And now we're going to watch how Sol performs. If BTC gives us some kind of mega bounce now off this 236 fib and starts printing a new high above 57K, we're most likely going to see Sol pop out pretty quickly into this region and then start firing. But if BTC can't print a new high today, so let's say BTC pushes up now, pushes say 57K and then starts reversing again, we're most likely going to see a situation where Sol just tries to push up again and gives our second rejection in this hot zone here, and then starts falling over. Okay, and that when it starts falling over, we're going to be looking for our bullish buy zones. Okay, we're going to be looking for interesting entry zones here. So lower down for me, 137.5. This is a potential long zone here if the market starts falling over, and then 127. Another potential long zone here for you guys if the market starts falling over. So keep your eyes on Sol today. Critical moment here. If BTC pumps off this 236, we might see Sol just launch now off this 200-day MA. So watch this 200-day MA. You can see it's acting as support right now. So that is 146.5. Watch that. Okay, if that thing holds now and BTC starts pushing higher, Sol's going to take off. So keep your eyes on that. Then you're looking for a trend break. If we do break that trend, eyes on the 618. Okay, look for a little rejection there in that 161 region, looking for something along those lines. But right now, resistance zone for Sol, exercise caution. If you lose the 200-day MA, you're most likely going to open up 137.5. You're most likely going to open up 127. Okay, these are your next potential bounce zones. And here are some of the trades that I'm sitting in at the moment. So I took profit on AVAX earlier this morning, and I've closed a ton of my longs. You can see I've only got a handful left. And you can see I'm sitting in some shorts. I've got a Pendle short running. That was the short I opened yesterday on Pendle when the market was looking a little bit toppy there. Then I've got the Rune short that's running currently. And then I've got the Sol short that I've been building during the course of the day. So we're going to see how that plays out. And my current stop loss on the Sol short is 155.9. We're going to see how this works. You know, if these trades stay open and the market starts absolutely ripping, I might just raise that Sol stop a little bit and see what happens at that 618 fib a little bit higher. So we're going to play that one by ear. We're going to just manage that one accordingly, but you can still see I'm in Ondo at the moment. I'm in Injective at the moment. I've got 𝗓𝗡𝗅. That thing's doing absolutely nothing. And then Arweave looking okay. And I've just started a little knot position. Okay, I've got the knot chart ready for you guys. I'm going to show you my thinking behind it. It's a very small knot position. It's something that we could build if the market turns a little bit bullish now. We can quickly start adding on some trend breaks. So I'm going to show you how I've done that and what my plan is. So you can see here is knot at the moment, and I'm going to show you that zone, and I'm going to show you why I'm looking at it. Now, I'm trading this one on Bybit. As you can see, we're doing that giveaway. Okay, there's a Tesla Cybertruck giveaway. Okay, all you need to be doing, it's not a competition. You just need to be trading in Bybit. So it's as simple as trading in Bybit. So if you don't have a Bybit account, you can jump into the link here in the description, sign up to Bybit. Simple plan. If you are trading here, a little bit of volume here, you're going to get raffle tickets basically, and you can win this Cybertruck here. It's just as long as you are trading on Bybit, you can stand a chance to win the Cybertruck. Okay, as simple as that. And right, let's look at Rune. So there was a request for the Rune chart, and I've got this thing ready for you guys. And here we go. So Rune looking incredibly bullish on the weekly. Look at this beautiful little candle here. Look at this buy from 2.5. The guys came in, they bought this thing very hard. And that is now looking pretty decent there for us at the moment on the weekly time frame. So you can see what's going on here with Rune. We're trying to break into this 3 level now. We want to start holding this 3 level for the bulls. Okay, now let's dial in to Rune. Smaller time frame. Let's try and get our heads around what is actually going on here. So here's Rune on the 1 hour, and this is typically how you can use your shorts to pay for some longs. You know, the shorts can maybe pay for your long bounces on bullish zones, provided you have the bullish bias, okay, that the market is going to bounce 382 or that the market is going to bounce on the 618. If you have that inclination or you have that bias, then you can stop your shorts down on these levels. Okay, so number one, you can stop your short number one on the 382, and you can look to flip long in that region over there, or you can stop your short on the 618 and you can look to flip long in that region over there. So you can see I'm sitting in a Rune short here at the moment, and my average entry is 3.178. Let's just look at that on this lower time frame chart. So there, 3.178. That is my average entry there. Bang. Okay, so what happens here? So we could see with the market on the 1 hour, Rune was starting to churn higher. We had this nice little uptrend, but you can see this, it started getting a little bit tired. Then we came down and we printed this lower high. Okay, now that is normally pretty interesting. When you get these type of candles here, printing these lower high, you can see the selling here at the moment. So that wasn't a good look for Rune. It was starting to look a bit tired. It was starting to look like a lot of these other altcoins in the market. They were just looking a little bit toppy, just almost starting to curve over a little bit. So I started laddering into a Rune short after we printed that lower high over there. And then we started losing this trend. And then that gave me the opportunity to add to that short. Okay, so now we are pushing this thing a little bit lower. And then typically with these shorts, and the same way we look at these longs, let's just clean some of this off. The same way we look at these longs, you typically lose your trend, then you get that retest, and then they send it lower. Okay, that is the same principle here when we are looking for longs as well. And you can see what happened here. I've just inverted the chart, and if we looked at this, you know, rationally, we would say, okay, cool, the trend has been lost. What did we do? We came back here and we retested the trend, and that would be a buy. Okay, and that pushes up into our first resistance band. Okay, so now we are in our first resistance band here, and this could be an area where you could potentially now flip and start looking for longs. Okay, and this is now going to tie into my current knot position that I've started now looking for a bit of a knot bounce at the moment. So right now, that is the plan on Rune. Where's my next high conviction long entry for me? 2.8. I'm loving this 618 fib. So let's see what happens. We have seen in the past, you know, many times, and if the market is not that bullish, now we've got this war thing hanging over our heads. So what happens here if we start bouncing up here and they start firing rockets at us? Okay, then we get a situation like that. Okay, and we get our trend pushing down into that region. So for me, higher conviction zone 2.8 is going to be the next potential long zone for Rune. And you can sniff around at that 382. There could be a short-term little bounce off that area. And you can see right now, it is actually reacting on that zone. Let's just flip that back, sorry. And it is reacting on this area. So you could get a little scalp off this area right now, the 2.97, but higher conviction entry for me for Rune is going to be this lower level, 2.8. Looks like a nice area to really start testing some long. So we're going to tie that in to BTC. And then the idea would be a nice bullish pullback on BTC to the 382 or the 618. Then we're going to look for a tie in here with Rune at this 2.8 level. So that is what I'm watching. Put this alarm on your charts. I'm going to actually add an alarm here right now. And 2.8 is going to be where we are looking for our next big move, where we are looking for our next nice, juicy long to send this thing higher. So hopefully that gives you some information on Rune. But overall, look at this candle, super bullish on the weekly. And these targets, we're going to look at some big targets here if we can get this thing going. So number one is going to be 4. You can see it's the 50-day moving average at 4. And then higher up, we've got the 100-day in horizontals at 4.9. So some beautiful little targets here for Rune if it can stay bullish. So let's look. Let's let the short play out here. TP zone 2.9. Let's go to 2.8 and look for our next long where we are going to leverage that thing and send it absolutely high. And okay, here is WIF. Let's talk about some Sol ecosystem plays now. We've seen Sol strength. We know Sol is outperforming ETH, and this might be a very good sign. Okay, so what do you want to do? You want to look at Sol and the ecosystem. Remember, strong Sol could equate to strong Jito, strong Jupe, strong WIF, strong Bonk, strong Radium, anything on the Solana ecosystem, even shitcoins like Pyth might start bouncing again, and we can start firing those Pyth trades up again at some point. So right now, let's deal with WIF. Nice little Sol play, and you can see the minute there's been Sol strength, WIF has woken up very nicely, and now we are getting a little bit of a move at the moment. So current game plan on WIF, you can see what is going on. We've broken back into our big range zone that we've been watching, and now we are looking at a little rejection here, and now we are potentially looking for a bullish bounce. So number one for me, high conviction zone here for me. I'm looking for something along these lines here on WIF, bang into that 382. I'm looking for a long down there at 1.5. So that 1.5 level for me, you can see why this is interesting to me. Tying in with these horizontals, nice little juicy zone here for us, 1.5. Okay, so that would mean Sol is rolling over a little bit more, and we're looking for a little bit more downside on Sol, and we're going to tie that in 1.5 for WIF. That should be a nice little bullish buy where at least we're going to give a go here on WIF. So we're going to have a crack on this thing, and obviously we're going to use stops. If this thing starts falling over, we're going to move back down to some lower levels. We'll hunt them if we start losing those zones. But right now, mark it on your charts. WIF looking interesting to me, 1.5. Let's look at it on a smaller time frame as well, and you can see I've mapped this thing out for you guys, and this is what you can typically look for on these areas. So here's an example, WIF on the 15 minutes, and you can see this 236 fib that we are currently sitting on. Okay, let me just show you again. This 236 fib, potential reaction zone. You can see why. Look at these charts. Look at these candles here. Support, resistance all around this region here. Support, resistance in that region. That could tell you that you could get some kind of reaction here in this region here on WIF. So what you can look for typically, you can see this is potential support in the zone. So what you can do if you are looking for a move here, you can sniff around in these zones, okay, and then you can look for some kind of structure and some kind of trend break. Okay, so if this is going to hold this level, you're probably going to see something along these lines, and then this thing could start popping. So what you can do is sniff around in that area there, and then really look for this trend break to really start pressing for this move off the zone. So typically we are in a reaction zone now. So watch the candles, watch the action, see if you can get a little trend break. If you get that little trend break, you can fire it off this 236. So that is zone number one of interest. If we start bleeding lower, the big one that I've marked for you guys, 1.5, this is the huge one. This is the weekly level. This is the range low. Okay, this is a big, much higher conviction zone. And we also have a rising trend in play here for you at 1.5. So look out for WIF 1.5, big little area. Look how that ties in on the bigger picture chart. You can see nice little look here at the moment. Let's put a nice little picture in here for you guys to show you what this thing looks like. Okay, bang, 382. You're looking for that move into 1.5. And your target is naturally going to be the range high. But if that is the bullish move and BTC really starts ripping off there, then you're most likely going to see WIF pushing 2.2, that sort of thing. So just be patient here. Sniff around in that zone like I've shown you. You're most likely going to get something along these lines before things turn super bullish here. So let's see. And remember, yesterday we were saying we want to take out those wicks. Okay, BTC's got to deal with those wicks on the daily. We want to see a little bit of wick action there and smash those things. So with 1.5, that is the plan. Sniff around here, 1.6, not the highest conviction. Could get a move lower down, 1.5. That's the banger for me. And then Jupe, also very interesting one. This is now a Sol ecosystem play and super bullish here. We know they voted to burn 30% of the supply. That is super bullish as well. And a nice little recovery bounce we had already, 35%, and now totally reasonable to get some kind of pullback here, totally acceptable to get some kind of retracement here before we look for our next big move. So areas of interest here for me on Dupe, same story. This is the 12-hour. You're watching 0.8. Interesting how WIF is on a 236 fib, Bitcoin's on a 236 fib. Here is Dupe sitting on a 382 fib. Okay, remember how these fibs all correlate. They start tying in with one another. And 382 fib here is 0.81. Okay, watch that area here. We could easily see something along these lines, and we're looking for that 618 potentially there to help us. If we lose that 618, then no doubt range lows. Okay, range lows is the next banger there for you guys. So right now, watching 382. Okay, 618. That's a long attempt there for me. 618 fib at 0.75. And then if that zone fails, the next long attempt for me is going to be range low visits in this region here. 0.66. Okay, 0.66. Mark that one on your charts. That's a range low, lovely area. Imagine how nice that dip will be if they send this thing to 0.66. Imagine how those entries are going to be looking, how sexy those things are going to be. So look out for that. And then Pendle, I'm still in that Pendle short, as you guys can see. And there was a upbid listing, I believe it was, on Pendle. And, they obviously pumped it into that. And now they're selling it down. Now I've got a banging entry here for you guys on Pendle. You can see a very, very simple game plan here. And I've got the 618 ready for you. And I've got horizontals here, daily support, weekly support in this region. And I'm looking for a long on Pendle 2.3. So we just want to see this move into the 618 region, somewhere around 2.3. I'm going to be looking for a long here on Pendle. And I'm going to specifically be firing this one up on 𝗬𝗢𝗥. Okay, 𝗬𝗢𝗥 is one of my KYC exchanges that I've partnered with. There's a link in the description for you. And they've got a new offer for you guys. They're saying get up to 6,800 USDT for trading. Okay, they are no KYC exchange. Okay, even though they're saying, yeah, they'll give you $3 if you KYC. Yay, KYC, $3. Yeah. But then they are offering you tons of other things for trading in these areas here. Okay, so look what they're giving you. They're just paying you. Okay, if you're trading and you're trading volume, they're just going to be sending you money. Basically, you're not even going to be knowing it as you go about your business trading, and they're going to be just dropping cash into your account. So I'm going to be firing this one up on 𝗬𝗢𝗥. I'm just waiting for that entry, and 2.3, that's the one I'm testing along on Pendle. And then just support-wise and exit-wise, I've got the 786 backup. So your potential stop, okay, let's say this setup happens now before my next show tomorrow, okay? Potential stop loss, 2.07. Okay, that is just under the 786 fib. So 2.07, watch that. And then 2.3 is going to be the entry zone of interest for me. That is what I want to see. That is where I want to be long. And Dad with 3, I'm guessing the man has 3, says Ray's wearing oh shit goggles. What is going on there, Ray? Have you got the real goggles on yet, bro? You can't wear those goggles. We need the real.
What's wrong with these? These flash off, you know?
Lunchtime says, will my Algorand bag ever pump? Okay, that for me.
I mean, that's like, I don't know, just look at the BTC chart against that.
It feels like Algorand feels like a Celestia. It feels like ADA. It feels like XRP. It's got that vibe to it. Okay, it feels like a Litecoin. And so Algorand, not my best. Not my best. I don't really look at it much because it's been such a shit trade for so long. And DJ Deb says, guys, hit the likes. Hit the likes. Do you like my sign? It says, but did you die? We didn't die. We got liquidated, but we didn't die. And that's the most important thing. Okay, let's see what else we got. DJ Deb says, such great info. Thanks, Deb. I appreciate that. Let's get into our next bit of alpha here for you guys. Let's get into the next banger. And here is not, okay, and I could not resist, okay, having a little look here at not on the 382. So here's the current setup. So you can see I started a small position here with not. I'm trading this one in buy, but just a small position here relative to these others because the higher conviction zone feels like the 618, okay? It feels like it in my heart. It feels like a 618. Okay, but nothing wrong with having a little test in the area, a little sniff around, and especially when there's a setup looking like this. This is not on the 8-hour. What have they done? Okay, they've broken a daily, they've broken an 8-hour downtrend. Okay, big downtrend here, smashed. Okay, what are we doing now? We're retesting. Okay, simple game plan here. We're retesting horizontal, we're retesting trend, we're retesting 382 fib. Okay, so for me, I need to have a look here. Okay, there's a couple of levels of confluence here for us on not. And let's just see what 𝗦𝗡𝗥𝗑 is telling me at the moment. Let's see if we've got any juice here from 𝗦𝗡𝗥𝗑. Let's see. We've got a massive order block here on the 8 hour from 𝗦𝗡𝗥𝗑. That's the top of the order block. And price GBT, well, they're not giving us decent information here at the moment. Let's look at it on slightly lower timeframes here. Let's see what they're giving us on the 4 hour. Let's get some, there we go. We got a little bit of volume here, a little bit lower down. Here's the volume shelf that we use on 𝗦𝗡𝗥𝗑. Let's see on the 1 hour what they are telling us here. Let's see where our volume is. Look at that. A little bit of volume support here. Looking interesting. Okay, volume support here using 𝗦𝗡𝗥𝗑. That looks okay there for me. And let's take that off. Let's see what else we got. Big order block. Okay, 𝗦𝗡𝗥𝗑 order block in play here. So we got the order block, we got the trend, we got the 382, we got the horizontals. Okay, so that is looking okay for me. So there's a couple of levels of confluence here. And then what is our trend master saying? Our trend master is saying we've still got a green uptrend. Okay, so far so good using that. Okay, so using simple charting tools here, trends, fibs, and horizontals. Then I've banged on 𝗦𝗡𝗥𝗑 and taken a look here, and I've got order blocks. I've got a couple of things here giving us confluence. So for me, it's enough to sniff around in this region and have a little bit of a look. Let's see if, yes, I did prep this one for you. And this is now typically how you can play this thing. Okay, so what I've done here and is I've zoomed into the 15 minutes. So I've taken this exact setup that you've seen here. I've now dialed in. Okay, we want to look a little bit lower here. Now we want to see, how do we attack this level? Okay, so if we like this little region, how do we go about it? So number one, you can just bang out a trend here. You can see we're in a clear downtrend. Okay, number two, we are now floating around this 382 region. So what you're going to look for, you can sniff around in that zone, and then we're looking for that type of move. And the minute we start popping that type of trend there in that sort of area, we can start looking at this thing a little bit more aggressively. Okay, so you can play around in this zone. You can see I'm just sniffing. I'm just having a little look, just having a little peek there in that region, because there's a couple of levels of confluence, and looking for something along those lines. So right now you can see there's also some horizontals here at 0.01108. Okay, there's a little bit of support there. So look out, maybe you get a little wick into that zone before something happens. And that is why I'm looking for longs in this region. Okay, now what do you do if the market falls over and this long fails? Well, then you've got your next potential zone that you can start attacking. So this is for the leverage guys, and a little bit lower then is going to be your 618. So look out for that 618 region. If this if this little long fails, you know what to do. Okay, 618 fib coming in a little bit lower. So right now for Notcoin, the entry box is here. Anything from current market price down to 0.0109, anywhere in that sort of region, you could look for something. And then remember, you're going to be dialing in and you're going to be waiting patiently for this trend break. When you get that trend break, you can then start pushing. So don't ape in your whole bag now, just because we've dropped on the level. Let's look for some structure. When we get a little push there, we can start adding to it. Okay, so look out there. And then lower down, 0.01. Okay, that is your next potential long zone there that I would be watching. Okay, so it's as simple as that. And that is the game plan there. And then while we're looking at NOT, I thought we haven't given TON enough love as well. So remember, TON and NOT, they're part of the same family. Also, Resistance Dog, part of the family. And I'm sure some of these TON meme coins are going to start coming alive again. So Resistance Dog is one of them. What's the other one? Resistance Cat. Then there's something like T-Bird, there's T-Dog, there's all these other things that are floating around. So when the market wakes up again, TON's going to wake up, the meme coins are going to wake up, and that whole ecosystem will start flourishing again, I would expect. But right now for me, TON, let's just take a look at where we are. And you can see we are now dipping onto a 382. So interesting, we saw BTC dip on a 236. We got TON on a 382. Okay, where's my high conviction zone? 5.11 for me. Let's see. Okay, so let's not ape everything on 382s here. Let's look for that 618 to potentially come into play for us. So that level 5.11, and then a little bit higher up here where we are, 5.38. Okay, and then still the big conviction zone, the massive range low. Okay, that would be a proper double bottom for us. That might involve a couple of bombs. Okay, in the next couple of days, and we might see something like that. Testpad says, what the fuck's going on with Injective? Guys, jeez, we've already done 48 minutes here, and I haven't even banged through all my stuff for you. Okay, here's CAS for you guys. Same game plan. Let's just look at CAS on the higher time frame, CAS on the daily. Jeez, there's so much shit going on here. And
you're a beast. Smash those likes, guys. He's killing it.
Guys, I mean, if you look, I know some people complain the show is a little bit too long. Okay, a lot of guys say, okay, the show's 45 minutes, it's too long, and we need to make it shorter because they feel like they have to watch the whole video. Okay, so tomorrow I'll run a poll on show length, okay? And maybe we can figure out, because at the end of the day, this is your show, okay? I want to do this for you. I don't want to bore you. I want to give you guys alpha. I want to entertain you. I want to give you good shit that you can use. So maybe tomorrow we're going to run a show, run a little poll there for you guys, and just try and get some more info as to what you guys want. This is your show. After all, I'm just a mere vehicle delivering the content for you. Okay, so here is Cass on the daily. Bigger picture. What has happened here? Massive dump, as you know, okay? Massive sell-off. We got that little banger there. Got that little scalpy long. What did they do? They sent us into rising trend, okay? Typical rejection. Where did they reject? 50-day moving average, trend 618, okay? The most obvious rejection zone. 50-day MA, 618, and trend, okay? Rejection in that area. Let's clean this up. Okay, what am I looking for now on Cass? So Cass now is technically bearish, okay? We've lost that massive rising trend, so we need to treat it accordingly, okay? And right now, we need to look at some high conviction zones here. Where can Cass potentially bounce? And the plan I gave Sniper Club the other day is unchanged, okay? We were looking for this type of play here in this region, and you're most likely going to get bounces off these 382s, but the high conviction for me is going to be the 618 region at 0.143. Okay, we're watching that. Why is that important to me? 200-day moving average in play at that level. 618 fib in play at that level. And then I've got these big horizontals here in play at that level. Okay, so there's lots of confluence there for us and at that area. So Cass, look for some kind of downtrend here. You can see this thing is pushing a little bit lower. My first big zone for me where I'd have a go at a leverage long here, 1.433. Okay, watching that area closely. I like the look of that. Let's see how that plays out. And then the WTF on injective, let's see. Oh, they're sending us to hell. That's basically what they're doing. And I'm probably getting rinsed now on my injective trade. Let's see. Oh, no, they've stopped me out. So I had injective stop at entry there, unfortunately. Well, we'll live to see another day. And let's see. Right now, it's drifting into 14.83. Okay, we're going to wait. We'll wait for 14.83. Let's see. It's not a good look at the moment. It's selling off a lot harder than some of these other tokens. So wait to see where Bitcoin is at 14.83. Okay, don't just ape here. You've got to see what Bitcoin is doing in this region. Bitcoin needs to be on some decent support in this area. Keep your eyes on dominance. You want to see that dominance starting to level out or start turning over. Then look, 14.83. Look at that. Alternatively, they're sending us to hell. Okay, 13.6. Okay, that is what you're watching there. And yeah, lunchtime, yeah, I mean, Injective as a spot buy, no problem. Great zone, great project. We love Injective. Okay, Injective on the weekly looks unbelievable. Okay, so if you bought this thing spot, you've got nothing to worry about. It looks great. And, just as a leverage trader's perspective, we want to be picky with our areas. We want to be picky with our entries. 14.83, look for that. And a little bit lower, 13.5. That is where it's at. Then quickly, there's some news on 𝗬𝗏 and 𝗬𝗢. Grayscale launches new investment products for these guys, okay? Bullish 𝗬𝗏, bullish 𝗬𝗢. What does that mean for us here? And just a quick look at 𝗬𝗏. We just want to look at some areas. I'm not going to show you the higher time frame stuff, but this is the daily. Okay, not bad. And right now you can see resistance zone in play, 288. Okay, so 𝗬𝗏 traders, 288. Big resistance for you. Where's my next major support for me? I love this 228 level and I love this 203 level. Okay, both of these look pretty good to me. You can see 𝗬𝗏 price action today holding up really well, okay, because of the news. So the guys are buying it. Everyone's excited about it. So, if that news wasn't out, it's probably falling over to the 382 and 618 fib. So right now, big resistance, 288. Look out there. Support, 228. 203. Watch those zones. Those are your areas, and that we like. John says too long, insane. Guys, you know what I was thinking actually, and I'd love your feedback. Please, actually, after the show, okay, genuinely, please, after the show, leave me feedback. Longer show, shorter show. I was actually thinking about once or twice a week doing 10 setups. That's it. So I come on the show, I just bang out 10 setups. I don't do anything. Don't macro, maybe a couple of jokes. Obviously, me and Ray will laugh. But we just bang out 10 setups and then I jump 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Maybe that could be an idea for us. So let me know. I'm happy with any type of feedback here from you guys. And King Cosmic says he loves 𝗬𝗢. Let's see. 𝗬𝗢, so news on 𝗬𝗢 and 𝗬𝗢 on the daily. All I can give you now, realistically, okay, our big dump support, 0.48. And I don't trade 𝗬𝗢 that much, okay? So I don't look at it that often. It's been relatively disappointing to me, every time we've tried to trade this thing. It's been a bit of a letdown. So right now you can see big resistance here, 𝗬𝗢 63.88, 63.88. That is your big resistance here. When you turn that into support, things start getting spicy. Okay, things start getting very spicy here when we turn that into support. So watch 0.633. Watch that. If we pop over there, that could be a nice launch pad for you. And then lower down, you got your support here, 48, 49. That is what you're watching. And guys, don't forget, leave your charts also in the comments. The charts you want me to look at, leave in the comments. I'll look at them after the show. Tomorrow, I'll get 2 ready for you guys. And hopefully, we get some trades on these things. And guys, just remember, keep that feedback coming, preferably after the show so I can read it, because I can't see it now, obviously, on the live. But keen on the feedback. I'll run a poll tomorrow. This is your show. Okay, this is for you guys. And, I want you guys to get the best shit. So, yeah, that's that. You got your entries, you got your levels, you know what to do, okay? You know what the trades are, you know what I'm doing, you got everything. I'll see you guys tomorrow.